I did not disrupt. I just want to disagree there.
Oh, I call it a disruption, but okay.
I did not disrupt. I just established a political party to contest to other parties. And I had very serious reasons why I did so. Firstly, I think it is important to take into account that I am a politician, not just politicians by loving it or being whatever. I am a politician. I think politics, I plan politics, strategy, tactics, and everything. So it's not a small matter. And I would not have tried it if I knew it was not going to work. I did so because I knew it well, for a variety of reasons, that one day when I write my book, I would tell a full story and what happened, etc. Firstly, I come from the freedom fighting kind of grouping. I fought for my freedom in this country, for freedom of Black people. And in the process of all of that, in fact, I could even go back. But if you know, the last battle of Black and White ended here at Inkandla, the last one, the Bambata Rebellion, which changed the thinking of how do we fight for our struggle. That's what led to the establishment of politics in South Africa from the Black people in particular. And the stories about that war were told here by older people, how ruthless the British were in the camps that they were putting people and what they were doing to them. That is where my what you call it, the first things that put me into politics. So getting into politics was not just because I love politics. It was because of what had happened to a Black person in this country that made me to join the struggle at my young age, to fight for the liberation or freedom of Black people. It is in my blood, it is in my vein, it is in my marrow. It's not a joke. I'm not doing it because I want to make money. I don't want to do it because I just want to do good. It is a very genuine desire to liberate a Black person. And that will take you back to slavery, that I think about what has been done to Black people. The most devastating behavior towards them. And therefore, to me, if I go to the struggle, it's not because I love it, it's because I want to change the lives of people. So it is a serious matter. And that led me to know politics deeper. And politics is a serious thing. It comes from very far. Now, when I took the decision that I'm ready to lose my love for the freedom of our Black people, it was not a joke. That's why I joined in 1961. I mean, not 61, after 1961, 1962.
Okay.
It was Mkhonto weSizwe as a liberation movement, or the kind of different fight than non-violent.
When you took up the armed, yes.
Then, and I became a soldier of MK, military wing. And therefore, we were taking arms. We went to train, we joined, we took a vow, we took an oath and everything. We were ready to fight and die, and many did so. That then led to a long, prolonged struggle that came to a point where particularly the whites, particularly put under pressure by the Western countries that they must agree to negotiate and stop the fight and find a way to sit together. That's what led to what people call Codesa.
Yes.
That was now to say, stop the war, find a way to live together. That's what we did. With process going forward, well, there are a lot of details there. Then we reached a point where the party that was established to liberate people began to move off the rail. And the leaders began to be the ones who are in charge, who are doing everything they love. And therefore, the process to finalize our freedom was lost. And the leaders were not listening, even if we wanted to listen to. My organization, which I'd spent more than 60 years in it became difficult. It became very funny. And you could not correct it. When I write my book, I will explain the details. Not now, because underground, we don't just tell a story. I chose the people I was going to deal with, that I worked with. Because I now, if I had told people, that thing would not have worked. I went underground, applied my tactics, applied my underground training. He has never led the ANC properly. I don't want to go further than that. And that's why I call it the Ramaphosa ANC. I don't want to deal with details of Ramaphosa. That's not my intention. The leadership of the ANC was no longer listening to itself, listening to its party, rather, to its party, and making a lot of decisions that were taking the ANC away from where we need to be. Now, one of the issues I'd raised, why I call it the problem was with the leadership, was leaders historically in the ANC, if the leader was doing something wrong, other leaders will deal with the matter and correct it. You had leaders that were no longer correcting anything, and their reasons, they feared this man on a number of issues. These are the matters I don't want to deal with it at this stage. What I did when I was in charge, I changed things in this country, and they're written down. I came with everything. And some people hated that, well, they did not want me to change this country. That was a hatred, if at all they hated me. I have never terrorized anyone. I've criticized Ramaphosa where it's going wrong. For an example, like when he said the ANC was #1 corrupt organization, I wrote a response.
I remember that.
To say no. I was not fighting him, I was just telling him you are wrong. That's not the way. I also can tell you something you don't know. Maybe just one piece was we are looking for.
Yes, I want.
when a campaign by the ANC, which included him, were saying I must resign from the ANC before I finish the what to call.
Before 2017.
Yes. I realized that this is going to make the ANC fight within itself. On my own, I asked to see him to discuss that matter with his secretary, Mahashul. And I met with them in Cape Town. And I said, I've taken my decision to resign as the president of the ANC, because I don't want the ANC to fight because of me. So I've taken a decision to resign. I then explained how I was going to do it and what will I do and every other thing. And I said, I'm trying to avoid the fight within the ANC. And I said, report it to the National Executive Committee, and this is what I think we should do. I'm ready to go. When I'm leaving, this is what I want to do. I gave him the period and the reasons why. He never came back to me even to report what was the response of the leadership. Because it did not come back to me until we had a meeting with the officials later. And I said to him on that day, I said, never meet me never asked to see me. I said it in a meeting of the official, top 6. Because you have disappointed, you are not a leader. I told him he's not a leader, don't respect him. Because I gave him a serious discussion to make the organization not fight. And it disappeared, he never came back.
Can I ask you?
Reported. And I said, sorry. Because for me, you have proved that you are not a leader. I am a leader of Mkondo Wesizwe to correct the wrongs. And partly, the ANC, under the leadership we have now, they are the ones who need to be corrected. And you know that in the policy of the ANC, we say we've got a freedom charter,
yes,
which the ANC has forgotten about. Nothing's being done, which will change the lives of the people in this country. And this is what we're going to do, to carry out the correct policies that were decided by the people of South Africa, not just by the ANC. The IEC took our votes, gave them to other parties. That's not democracy. That's not democracy. The IEC said there was a crash.
Of the dashboard.
When there was no crash, when they were taking our vote, we've got evidence. That's why I've charged them.
So you've gone the legal route.
That is democracy.
No, you've gone the legal route.
When we say don't start saying you are now giving the numbers, because we are complaining. We are a long list of parties. They don't listen. That's not democracy. I disagree with you. That's not democracy. I'm very clear. I'm not doing this for the sake of winning, but I'm doing this to correct our situation that is not complete, that we as Black people were not free. I can give you litany of the reasons why. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with wanting to lead now, whatever. I'm dealing with the whole issue of us not being free. I come from jail without a case. I will remain angry until I die. Because they were wrong. They were totally wrong. The judge first was wrong. They were wrong. And I will never accept it. Even today, they can repeat it. I will go to jail. If their jail is to put people there who have no crime. Because in my own language, I don't understand. Because if you want to talk about the state capture, you are talking about parliament, executive, and judiciary. If these three were captured, they couldn't study, themselves deal with themselves. Does not make sense. I said this even when it was being said, the state capture. What does it mean? Was it mean those three arms are captured? How can they then, it should be them who look after the case. What have you done? It's madness in my view. You can't say we want to negotiate, but not about our president. What is that? You don't want to negotiate. Because if you want to negotiate, you say, I want to negotiate, you then negotiate. If those issues arise in the process, you can then discuss. You can't put a condition. You want to discuss with me, but put a condition, not this one. It's never done that way, really.